Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. And today,
Yeah.
we've got some pretty significant news that we got to unpack.
Yeah, definitely big news.
Yeah, coming out of the global tech world.
The global tech world never sleeps.
It really doesn't.
Always something happening.
Absolutely. So we're going to be focusing on Samsung Electronics today.
Yeah.
And the unexpected passing of their co-CEO, Jong-hee,
Yeah.
at only 63.
Very young.
Yeah, way too young. And
It's a shame.
from reports indicating a heart attack.
Yeah. Sounds like it was pretty sudden.
Yeah, so we've been going through all the details.
Yeah.
We're going to try to really understand what the immediate implications of this sudden change in leadership might mean
That's frustrating.
for such a massive player.
For a company like Samsung. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
looking at the information that we have, this really kind of solidified early on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. And, when you start to look at Han Jong-hee's responsibilities at Samsung, it paints a picture of someone
It's a lot.
who was very central to the company.
Hugely important guy.
Yeah, he wasn't just a co-CEO, he was also heading up their digital appliance division.
Okay.
And crucially, the device experience unit.
Right. So we're talking about all the consumer products, essentially.
Yes. And that's...
I mean, that's the heart of what a lot of people associate with Samsung.
Yeah, the Galaxy phone in your pocket to your smart refrigerator, like everything.
Right. And it's all connected now.
Yeah.
The Internet of Things, all that stuff.
The Internet of Things. Yeah, so he was really at the center of all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting to me, like the fact that he was overseeing both of those areas, because that kind of hints at the direction that Samsung was maybe going in, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like connecting your mobile experience with your home and everything else.
And that's a major strategic direction for pretty much every tech company right now.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's all about these ecosystems, right? Creating these seamless experiences across all your devices.
Yeah, so it seems like he had a very unified vision for that space.
Yeah, he was probably a key driver of that for Samsung.
It seems like it's interesting to see, the span of his career with the company.
Yeah.
It spans decades. He joined Samsung back in 1988
Wow.
and steadily climbed the ranks.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, a real turning point. It seems, was around 2011
Okay.
when he took charge of product research and development for their visual display division.
Oh, so the TV side of things.
Yeah, the TV side of things, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
And then that kind of culminated in his appointment as co-CEO in 2022.
Wow, so that's a long and impressive journey within a company like Samsung.
Yeah,
I mean, to rise through the ranks like that, you got to be talented
for sure.
and have a deep understanding of the company's inner workings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And starting an R&D like that, for such a key division like visual displays, and then eventually reaching the top executive level.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about his contributions and the trust that they placed in him.
Yeah, and it's also really interesting to see how Samsung themselves publicly acknowledged his impact.
Yep.
Their official statement specifically credited him with being instrumental in establishing their global dominance in the TV market.
Interesting.
And for steering the company through what they called a challenging business landscape.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, they've been doing incredibly well in the TV market.
They have.
For years now, they're really a leader.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I know pretty much has a Samsung TV.
Yeah, they're known for quality and innovation.
Yeah.
And to have the company directly link his efforts to that success really shows you how highly they regarded him.
Yeah. So, and of course, they also expressed their condolences to his family and loved ones.
Of course.
Which is completely appropriate.
Absolutely. It's a huge loss for them and for the tech world in general.
Yeah, so this is where things get particularly interesting for me.
Okay.
Just a week before this announcement, on Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, Han Jong-hee was front and center, hosting Samsung's annual general shareholders meeting in Suwon, South Korea.
Yeah.
And we even have a photo from that event in our sources. And the context of that meeting was really significant.
Okay.
He was reportedly facing some tough questions about the company's poor stock performance.
Oh, wow. So he was already under pressure from the shareholders.
Yeah.
To be addressing those kind of anxieties about the bottom line, just days before his passing, really adds a layer of real-world pressure.
It's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, to the situation. It wasn't like business as usual.
No.
He was actively having to navigate some pretty immediate concerns.
Yeah, to think he was one of only 4 executive directors on Samsung's board.
He held a lot of influence.
He really did. So this kind of brings us to the Okay, so what happens now?
Yeah, what's next for Samsung?
The news article that we have indicates that Jong-hee,
Okay.
who was brought in as co-CEO back in November of last year,
Right.
will now step up to become the sole CEO.
Okay, so they already had a co-CEO structure in place.
Yeah.
So that should help with the transition.
Yeah. It's interesting that they were already set up in that way.
Yeah, it's almost like they had some kind of succession plan. Yeah.
That even if they didn't expect it to happen this soon.
Right.
You know, it allows for a relatively quick and smooth transition.
Right, because a company that size can't just be without a leader,
No, absolutely not.
especially not in this market.
No. So it's crucial to remember that Jun Young-hyun
Yeah.
wasn't just like an incoming figurehead.
Right.
He also held a very significant position
Sure.
as the head of Samsung's memory chip arm.
Oh, wow. So he's already in charge of a major part of their business.
Yeah.
And memory chips are huge right now
Huge. Yeah.
with all the demand for data centers and AI and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And the article touches on the leadership reshuffles.
Yeah.
That happened within both the memory and foundry chip divisions
Right.
last year.
Yeah. There was a lot of movement in that space.
There was a lot of movement
I remember reading about that.
driven by that intense competition
Oh, yeah.
in the semiconductor space.
I mean, everyone is trying to get a piece of that pie.
Yeah, so June was already a major player in a critical part.
Yeah, he's not coming in cold.
No, he's not coming in cold at all. He knows what he's doing.
He knows the industry.
He knows the industry. So it's interesting to think about what that means for Samsung.
Yeah. I mean, does this mean they're going to be focusing more on the chip side of things now?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say,
Yeah. It's too early to tell.
but it's certainly something to consider.
Yeah. Especially with the memory chip market being so hot right now.
Yeah, and with all the competition
Right?
in that space.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting
Yeah.
dynamic.
Definitely.
that
I'd
way.
be interested to see how it all plays out.
So I guess this kind of brings us to the big question, like, what does it actually mean
Yeah.
for a global giant like Samsung to suddenly lose a leader like this?
I mean, it's got to be a huge blow, right?
It has to be.
I mean, for an organization as vast and complex as Samsung,
yeah.
to suddenly have a void at the top like that,
Yeah.
especially someone who is overseeing such a wide range
Yeah.
of consumer products,
Yeah.
it's bound to cause some ripples.
Yeah. Internal dynamic.
Internal dynamics are going to shift.
For sure. And, you know, potentially how they approach the market.
Right, exactly, because now you have a new person in charge
Yeah.
with their own ideas and priorities.
Right. And the timing of this, like we said, feels really critical.
Yeah, coming right after that shareholder meeting.
Yeah.
Where they were already talking about poor stock performance. And with all the pressure in the semiconductor and consumer electronics markets,
Yeah.
it seems like they were already in a bit of a tough spot.
They were in some choppy waters for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot to navigate.
Absolutely. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, will this accelerate any strategic shifts they might have been considering?
Right.
Or will it lead to something completely different?
It really makes you wonder about the future direction under Jin Young-hyun's sole leadership.
Yeah. Does he have a different vision
Yeah.
than what they were doing before?
And especially when you consider those previous leadership changes in the chip divisions
Right.
that were directly related to competitive pressures.
Yeah, it seems like they were already trying to shake things up a bit.
Yeah.
So will this continue that trend?
Yeah. Or will they kind of go back to a more centralized approach?
Right. Well, they try to streamline things now.
A singular vision.
Yeah, a more
Yeah.
unified front.
Yeah. It's a really interesting,
That's a big question.
question to consider.
And a lot is riding on it.
Yeah. So just to kind of bring it all together, we've been talking about the unexpected passing of Samsung co-CEO Jong-hee, highlighted his extensive career and vital roles within their digital appliance and device experience divisions.
Yeah, he was a major figure in the company.
Yeah, he was a really big deal. And we also looked at that immediate transition to sole CEO, Jong Young-hin,
Right.
and what that means for Samsung.
Especially at this critical moment for the company
Yeah.
with everything going on in the market.
And it's worth remembering that Samsung's impact
Yeah.
stretches far beyond just consumer gadgets.
Oh, yeah, they're a global powerhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, they're involved in so many different industries.
They are a major player in the global economy.
Yeah, for sure.
And these kind of leadership transitions
Yeah.
can really have ripple effects.
They can disrupt things.
Yeah.
Across the entire technology ecosystem.
Yeah, so this deep dive has
Yeah.
really kind of led us to this final point for you to consider.
Okay, I'm listening.
What kind of impact might this sudden change in leadership have on Samsung's upcoming product innovations?
Oh, that's a good one. Because they're always pushing the boundaries
Yeah.
with new technology.
Or even their overall strategies as they try to navigate
Right.
these really competitive landscapes of mobile technology and semiconductor manufacturing.
Yeah. Are they going to double down on certain areas?
Yeah.
Are they going to pull back from others?
It's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Definitely a lot of unknowns.
Yeah. As the global tech